All right, let's just jump right into it. We're talking about one of the most shocking, truly pivotal events in all of American history. This was an act that didn't just kill a president, it completely changed the direction of a country that was just trying to get back on its feet after a horrible, horrible war. I want you to just picture this for a second. The Civil War, the absolute bloodiest conflict in the nation's history, it's finally over. The fighting has stopped. You can almost feel the entire country taking this huge collective sigh of relief, right? There's this fragile hope for a fresh start. But right when it seemed like the nation could finally start to heal, history had one more absolutely tragic chapter to write. So look, to really get the full weight of what was lost here, we have to understand the vibe in America right after the war. It's not an exaggeration to say the nation was on a knife's edge. It was a moment of incredible hope, but also incredible danger. And right at the heart of it all, Abraham Lincoln. This guy wasn't just a president. He was the president. He was the steady hand that guided the country through its absolute darkest hour. He'd saved the nation from literally tearing itself in two. And in the process, he ended slavery. He was, and this is no exaggeration, the architect of a whole new America. And this is the crucial part. The entire country, we're talking the winning North and the defeated South, they were all looking to him. Just stop and think about that for a second. He was seen as the one person who had the respect, the authority, the political smarts to handle this massive, massive job of turning enemies back into fellow citizens. All the hope for a peaceful future, it was all resting right on his shoulders. And then, in just one evening, all of that hope, all that planning for what came next, it was just gone, shattered. So let's talk about that one fateful night. Okay, so here's the scene. We're at Ford's Theater in Washington, D.C. The date is April 14th, 1865. And get this, it's only 5 days after the main Confederate Army surrendered. This one specific time, this one place, it's burned into American history forever. What's so wild is just how simple, how chillingly simple it all was. Lincoln's just there to relax, to watch a comedy after 4 years of just unimaginable stress. And the guy who does it, he isn't some mystery man in the shadows. He's an actor, a famous one, a face everyone at that theater knew. He could literally just walk right up to the presidential box. And then, a single gunshot. A shot that would change everything. So who was this guy who pulled the trigger? Well, his name was John Wilkes Booth, and he was far from a nobody. In fact, he was a famous actor, kind of like a movie star of his day, from a whole family of famous actors. But underneath all that fame, he was a diehard supporter of the Confederacy. He saw Lincoln as a total tyrant, and in his mind, this assassination was his one last dramatic way to fight for his cause. As you can imagine, the news just exploded. It spread like wildfire, first on the telegraph wires and then just by word of mouth. And the reaction, it wasn't just sadness. It was this deep, profound shock that just shook the entire country to its core. And that simple quote right there really says it all. The disbelief was just overwhelming. Think about it. The captain who'd steered the ship of state through a Category 5 hurricane, he was taken down just as the ship was pulling into the calm harbor. The country was left completely adrift. So, without its leader, the nation gets thrown head first into this incredibly difficult time that we call Reconstruction. And suddenly, there's all these massive questions with no easy answers. How do you rebuild the South? How do you protect the rights of millions of newly freed African Americans? How do you even begin to put the country back together again? And the one person with a clear, compassionate vision to answer those questions, he's gone. The whole thing just dissolved into bitter, angry conflict. And right there, that's the turning point. That's the fork in the road. On one side, you have the promise of what could have been, Lincoln's vision for a guided, healing path forward. On the other side, you have the brutal reality of what actually happened, a messy, chaotic, and often violent struggle for Reconstruction without him at the helm. So let's talk about the legacy. What was the long-term fallout from this single act of violence? How did it permanently shape the America that you and I live in today? Well, the answer to that question really shows you the true weight of that one night. And believe me, the impact is something we still feel today. Okay, so there are really 3 huge, lasting impacts to think about. First, even though slavery was officially over for good, The assassination took away the biggest champion for a truly just peace. That meant the fight against deep-seated racism was going to be a long, hard road for generations. Second, on a more practical note, it was a massive wake-up call. The way we protect our presidents, it changed forever after this. And third, this is where Lincoln the man starts to become Lincoln the symbol. Yeah, in death, he became something more than just a politician. He became a martyr for unity and for freedom. He started to represent the best of what the nation could be, a lasting symbol of what America, at its best, is always striving for. And maybe nothing captures that lost vision, that lost potential, better than Lincoln's own words, spoken just weeks before he was killed. It was a simple yet profound blueprint for a country ready to heal, a vision silenced by a single gunshot. And it leaves us with a question that still hangs in the air today. What might have been?